That's the only way I can get it to go.
All right. This is the Tilton Northfield Fire District Commissioners meeting. It is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, 5:30 p.m. We are in the downstairs meeting room at the Tilton Town Hall. Those present include the commissioners, the chief, both deputies, Kathy and Kevin Waldman. Calling the meeting to order. Public comment, members of the district, employees of the district. Any public comment, Kevin?
Yeah. What is a motor vehicle insurance billing policy?
That is a policy, if you don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's a policy where if we go to a motor vehicle incident that requires hazardous materials containment, extrication, things like that, where a lot of vehicle insurance policies allow you to bill for those services, so we do. If we can, we do, and collect the revenue for that. And the revenue for that will go into the apparatus and equipment fund, similar to like transporting a patient in the ambulance.
Okay.
And at the district meeting, we updated the apparatus equipment fund to include other billing, other services billing in addition to ambulance billing.
If I went, I'd have known that.
Yes. That's why I was clarifying that for you. Got his reading glasses.
Sorry. Park Street drainage repair.
Oh, that's so good to be discussed. Did you guys go and look at it?
I did.
All right, so the runoff from the roof and the, if you're looking at the building, the old rescue door bay, that corner, the gutter was turned this way, so the water was running off straight down towards the road that goes to the training area, and it's all washed out and undermined the asphalt that's there, and it's collapsed. You can see cones, if you go over there,
Yeah,
there's cones there.
I've seen it.
Yes, that's, and so.
And I think I heard an estimate of $3,800.
35, I think, 3,500 from Kenny Partridge, Steve Partridge.
Yeah.
Gave us the estimate, and the commissioners were going to look at it, and I think it's a matter of discussion for tonight, so I can't say anything more.
For what it's worth, I don't see it being that kind of repair. This is kind of funny. I was stopped at in Market Basket the other day by someone who thinks I was still a fire commissioner. And they asked me the guy said, hey, where are you guys meeting? I'm like, well, who are you guys? The fire commissioners. I'm like, no. I said, but if you go on the website and you look at their agenda, you'll see that they have the date, time, and place on their agendas. So then I realized, no, you have a date, no time, and no place.
It's in the calendar.
Is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
It's,
I just thought it kind of funny that after all this time, but theirs is not. And I know where the link is because
so
it's on the front page.
right on the
It
front
says-
page. You just scroll down on the calendar.
Yeah, it says there's a meeting, but there's no,
If you click on the date, it will give you that information.
does it?
Yeah, just click on it.
Says, I'm not that computer bright, so apparently he's not up on times either, because he thinks I still sit at this desk. It's like, that's been a minute. Nothing else, I don't think. I'm interested to hear some discussion under old business with finance, marketing, and that drainage project.
All right, well, we'll continue on then. Anybody else? All right. Correspondence.
You don't have it.
Okay. Building committee. So the building committee has met a couple times since our last meeting. We're working on the questions in regards to the floor plan, rooms, overall size. We have sort of, I think, narrowed down the Sanborn Road station I think that was a little easier to tackle because it's a smaller station. Current drawing has it just over 10,000 square feet. And then we worked preliminarily on the Park Street station. We sent back a number of questions and recommendations about some changes there, and some of them have been integrated into the latest floor plan. Some of them we were waiting for additional information, which the chief had contacted the state in regards to some building code issues, which we seem to have worked through. And the latest question that we're waiting for is some cost estimates so that we can, therefore move forward with concerns, because the committee has some concerns about how much this is all going to cost. We tackle and move, minimize the space as best we can, only putting in rooms that we deem necessary, and trying to make them minimize the size where we can without impacting the mission of the fire department, and coming up with buildings that have a lot of square footage, and concerned about what the cost is going to be.
Right.
So Lorero is supposed to be working on that. Obviously, it's hard to give you pricing when you don't have a building laid out. So we made good progress on Sanborn Road. We're making progress on Park Street. Happy to answer any questions. Kevin's obviously here. The chief is here. So I don't know if you want to add anything to.
I think you've covered it, really. The questions that we had concerning the codes, we got those answers yesterday. I forwarded them to the building committee in an email, but the plans for Park Street don't reflect those changes quite yet, because they just got them, so they haven't had a chance. And I know that our designer and they're going on vacation. They want to square things away before they go away on vacation, and I hope to have everything else squared away on our end and their end before our next meeting. So I expect a new update for Park Street for our next meeting. Other than that, I think they're pretty much there, the plans.
And I think that leads right into, just I jump down to old business for a second. The Fire Station Finance Committee wanting to get that group together, but I didn't want to do that prior to getting some idea of what we were talking about cost-wise. So we keep waiting for Lorero to give us some cost estimates. Still working a little bit on the membership of that committee. So hopefully, my hope would be by the end of the month we'll have some information from Lorero, and then we can call a meeting together of that finance group.
One of the questions I see is the cost. It's a big thing, and if you find out the cost is, let's say 10 million, just for the one up here in Tilton.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to, then the one down there say 15 million. I mean, that's the end of it. What if they only wanted one station? They come back and say, hey, we want to do one station. Is it going to be 10 million for here and 15 for here? Are you going to be able to have that one station up? Say they say we don't want to do Park Street. We'll do the one up here, but for 10 million. Is it adequate to do that? Would it be built adequate to do that?
Not in the current, I guess I'll speak for the committee, not in the current layout, because the station up at Sanborn Road is a substation. It doesn't have rooms for, admin. There's no office space for, the chief and the deputy chief and the administrator. There's no rooms like that at that building. It's mostly garage space or dorm rooms and day rooms and decon.
The other question somebody's going to ask you, and it's going to come up, how are you going to staff it? And it will come up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the answer to that is hire more people.
Yes.
At some point, we'll need to hire more people. The call volume will we'll dictate that. Obviously, you could have an argument now as to whether we have enough staff, but we won't have that conversation because we have no room for them. Nor do you have the finances
So,
to pay them.
they're gonna, what they're gonna do though is, okay, how many we're gonna hire? If we, how many we're gonna have to hire to keep that station adequate? 2, 4? I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, and one of the meetings, or a few times I've been to the meetings myself, I mean, I suggested personally to, the building committee, get ready. Because don't build a substation if we're not gonna man it.
But that's
If we're not gonna man it, you're gonna need 2 people to man it. And if that's not possible, then let's stop now. Let's not waste any more time or money.
Is it
Because
2?
a fire station is no good without personnel.
Is it 2 people per shift or just 2
It
people?
would be 2 people per shift,
So you're talking
8 people.
8 people?
Yep.
And the plant has enough room for 4 people up there.
To take what we're currently doing and just mirror it over.
Well, and at some point down the road,
Right.
if you need to have 8 people on.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So are both towns.
Problem
So
is,
is our call volume.
when we went, we're already doing, I think, I don't quote me on this, but it's somewhere around 600 more calls a year than when we went to 4 staff. And when I made the 3 20 years ago, we were doing 1,100 calls a year, now we're doing 2,500. And we've gone from 3 to 4 people, going from 1,100 calls a year to 2,500 calls a year. And then the transports, when I started, we were doing 400 to 450 transports a year, that's what takes us the time. That's what, we can say there's other important things, but getting people to the hospital timely, that's important. And back then, we were doing 400 to 450 transports a year, and now we're going to be well over 1,000. And we've only added 1 person a shift. So, I mean,
Our workload has gone up
it's
exponentially, and we haven't increased our staffing to accommodate that increase in the workload. It's gonna have to be addressed one way or another soon.
Yeah, we just approved 6 unit buildings and 2 4-unit buildings up there. And I haven't seen the plans. I've seen the plans for all those, but they just approved 80 duplexes up that end of town, and then 220 apartment units at that end of town. That's people, and that means ambulance calls. So it's coming. This town is growing with or without us, and right now it's growing without us. Quickly.
I predict within a year or 2, the population of Tilton's gonna be higher than the population of Northfield.
And Northfield's not. I just approved a duplex today, and 2 duplexes. I just did a CO of 2 duplexes today, but the ones over on the Franklin Town line there, I believe there's 84 units total. I think it's 42 duplexes, and they've only put, I think, 14 in so far. So those are moving right along. And then there's single-family homes.
Is it the cross mill thing?
Yep, exactly.
Cross-
There is a ton of single-family homes being built, and I say ton, I mean, I feel like I've done 10 COs over the past 2 months in Northfield on single-family homes or duplexes. I could look that number up, but Northfield is growing also, just not as rapidly as.
So yeah, that question will come up, and obviously, if the project is approved and we build it Sanborn Road first, we still won't have the ability to house more firefighters because we'll be moving the staff over to there. It wouldn't be until after we had the Northfield station completed that we would have the housing for additional staff. And that'll be obviously a number of years before we're that far down the project, and we'll be that far along with call volume increasing, and we'll very likely need those 2 extra guys, for sure. And right now, I think I asked the chief that question, and it was almost $1 million for 8 more guys.
Yep. That will get asked, I'm sure.
Any other building committee kind of questions?
Jim,
Yeah,
Mayor?
yes, please.
I don't want to say I don't think, because we don't know. But it occurs to me that when it's presented to the voters, it's not going to be multiple choice. So there will be no opportunity for anyone to say, well, let's do this for 10 million.
Right.
Because you can't amend it to that point. I think it would be ruled unfairly warned that it changes the intent too drastically for a floor amendment to say, no, let's do this. So it's got to be an option. You're gonna bond this money for this or you're not. And whatever the numbers are, they are.
That's correct, you could not do that kind of an amendment.
And that was a question that was asked at some point in the past. It's like, well, can we have on the warrant multiple articles? It's like, well, no, you really can't. You know, this is the project. It's not a la carte. Pick warrant articles 1, 2, or 3, or any combination thereof. That's not how you do that.
I mean, you could potentially have more than one article, but one would be connected to another. I think we've done that in the past with something.
Well, it's more of if you didn't approve
You
this,
approve
then-
one, the other one gets passed over.
Right.
But
If you don't approve this one, you have to put money in for
it's
the
not,
contingency. Right.
it's not the way to go. I don't believe that's the way to go at all. So you're gonna have one option.
I think it just creates confusion.
Oh my God, can you imagine, especially if I showed up?
Yeah, good point.
Excellent.
You're gonna have an option. It's got to be beyond well planned out.
Right.
And you've got to go,
Well, you gotta have that buy-in way before you get to the meeting. That's the
Yeah,
only reason
absolutely.
we were able to build a police department, after
Absolutely.
10 different committees and trying to do it. It all has to happen beforehand, out in the street, in the alley, in the town, the town hall type meeting things, and everybody's friends and neighbors saying, yep, we're just gonna go in and officially vote.
Yeah.
And you'll know before you get in there, and that was,
It'll be a done deal before we
Yeah,
get to the
it's-
meeting. That's how it should be.
one way or another.
yeah,
you're done
exactly,
before you
yes,
get-
exactly, but it's, the public hearings and all the comment and having that marketing piece to really kind of get it steered. That's the only way that we got the PD built.
And I remember going to that meeting, it was a done deal
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
was an overwhelmingly favorable vote for it because it was a done deal.
The majority of the people that voted for it understood the need, understood that it was being built to meet a need. It was also understood that it was a kind of a 50-year built, like, this is it. We're not building something to put additions on and just, But that's a different animal as far as staffing. The staff hasn't changed, the requirement really hasn't grown. But this plan has to encompass the growth and the call volume changes and all that. So people have to understand, just what Sean said. Hey, listen, this is this data point when you started, and you're double the volume from when you went from just 3 to 4. We've got to see that. I'm not saying it's easy.
I don't know if at the last meeting, Jason, you weren't here, but
Yeah.
the committee, number of the members of the committee had gone down to Londonderry and looked at one of their substations. And what I thought was most interesting was they do about 5,000 calls a year. Out of their 3 stations, their process is a little different. They have a population of 24,000.
Right.
So they're doing twice the call volume, but they have more than twice the population. But they do that call volume with how many firefighters?
13.
13 firefighters. They do twice the call volume, 13 firefighters on.
And 5 administrative staff,
Yeah.
4 or 5.
No. They have,
So very different, setup and demographics and.
Well,
13 on duty.
and what's their ratio of EMS to, I mean, do they do a lot of
Very
EMS?
similar.
the ratio is
Yeah.
similar to ours, 70%.
I think their setup is the same as ours, newer commercial with the older residential.
Yeah.
Right?
They handle their paramedic, they don't have quantity, percentage-wise, they don't have the number of paramedics we do.
They wish they did.
I don't
Yeah,
think
does
many people
anyone?
do, yeah. Laconia is getting there again.
Yeah.
They've made a huge push, but not many people do.
Yeah.
So, it was eye-opening. We get an awful lot done for the staffing and process that we have.
Sure.
All right. Anything else on the building committee? Right, let's move to the chief's report.
Hi, I emailed the chief's report out last Friday. I hope everybody had a chance to review it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
It was notable how the EMS calls were down to 63%.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was typical this time of year. So, then any update with the town of Tilton and the parking over there?
So I talked to Scott yesterday, and I'm on the agenda for the first meeting in August. They're too busy to address it currently with other issues. I told them that it's really important that we kind of get this cleared up before the next auditor, because it's just ridiculous. I don't know if we'll ever really get cleared up, but I'll be there whenever, he hasn't given me the exact time yet.
Right, and then you have a firefighter out.
Yes. He was injured off duty, and he had to have a surgery to repair that injury, and he's recovering.
And we were already covering for the firefighter who was in training. But
Right.
he's finished that, right?
He's graduated from training, yes.
And now he's been rotated in, and that's
Yes.
firefighter Karen.
Yes,
It's actually the same shift.
yes. So,
So we're still short one of that.
yes.
All right. Any update on Stitch's recovery?
It's going as planned.
I saw him this morning, I talked to him
Yeah.
this morning, he was in the station, and
Yeah.
it's going good. He's out of the hard cast, he's in a soft cast, but it's a minimum of 4 months. The surgeon said, because of what we do, there's no coming back within. So the date of surgery was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. He's definitely in better spirits than when I talked to him a few days
Yes.
after the surgery.
Any update on ambulance billing legislation? Get the emails from
So,
the places.
a comp
Is that what
upstairs,
they're not?
down the end, take a left. Compromise legislation has been approved in both the House and the Senate. Theoretically, it's gonna go to a committee of conference committee, whatever, and they're supposed to hammer out any minor differences. The language that I wanted in the compromise is in there, but there, when I read the amendment on the House side, the language in it was also concerning me with regards to the 2-year cost pay analysis that the Department of Insurance is going to run. And I emailed several people. Senator Prentice on the Senate has been like the leader of this whole thing, and she's aware of my concerns. So is the Commissioner of Insurance is aware of my concerns, but I don't think he cares. I was going to stop there before somebody wants to sue me for libel or something.
Are we starting to see any improvement in payments coming directly to us as compared to going to the patients? I know that's
I think
being
so.
rolled out. over
I
time.
can say that our collections are better than they have been in the previous year. And I think I put that right up front in my report, that our collections are doing much better. And last year, our collections were better than the year before. So I think there's been improvement in that, and I attribute a lot of that to our staff and Kathy making sure that when we submit our claims to Comstar, who does submit our claims to the insurance companies, that all the right boxes are checked, all the information, the narratives are proper, the signatures are obtained. You gotta check all the boxes before you get the money. And we're doing the staff's doing a much better job of that, and I think that's one of the reasons that our revenue was up over last year at the same time. Another thing is we've been adjusting our rates as well to accommodate our actual costs of what it costs to provide the service, so that we're billing appropriately now, whereas before we were kind of shooting a little shot in the dark as to, we were taking an average of what everybody else is charging and kind of trying to go with that. And for the past few years now, I do an analysis at the end of every year. Says, this is what it cost us to provide a transport, and this is what we're going to charge with your, approval, and that's what we'll do in December again this year.
I'll keep going. Are you able to see how many people are signing up for the fire department news? And have we published anything there lately?
I haven't published anything lately.
You get an email when we put a notice out for a meeting or something like that, but yeah, I can look at it, there's like 3 people or 4 people on it.
Yeah, not many.
There's not a lot of. Let me tell you, that was a hassle getting that enabled. Because the software, the version that we're on, didn't have that functionality to it. Because even though we use the same companies like Northfield does, they're in a different, people who wrote the software for Northfield is a different version and even a different name than the software that runs our website. I don't know, but they're on something 6 and we're on like 10. And so different functionalities between different versions. And ours version is the newest version, so it's not as mature as, say, the Northfield's version that has more functionality to it. But ours is getting it. And we have no control over it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we need to. How do we do a better job of consistently putting something out there so word gets out that people want to sign up for it?
Yeah.
All right, anybody else have anything else? Do you have anything on inspections or?
No. Yeah, nothing real big new. I told you there's a distribution center coming. This is Fire Drive. That's only 100,000 square feet. The hotel's really ramping up the inspections at the new hotel. They're looking to be open by August 15th. That's their goal.
Memorial Day, July 4th.
Yeah. So August 15th is the new goal. I approved their fire pump. So their fire pump, we did all the testing on the fire pump. The cistern is full. Both cisterns, there's 2 different cisterns there. The fire alarm testing hasn't been done yet. They're really looking to get that fire alarm and sprinkler up because it's a wood frame building, and their insurance company is saying you don't have that sprinkler, I don't know what the bill is, but I know it's probably a lot more money than, it's, the number is large, what they're being charged monthly until that sprinkler system is working, for fire insurance, so. But they have 100 or so, 110 guys a day working there, and they're chugging along, so.
The distribution center on Business Park.
Yes.
They're, yeah, merging several lots.
I saw that.
Yeah, so there's one on the left side and then two on the right side. So the plans I've seen, there's a main building and then some small, like a turnaround for 18-wheelers on one side, semis on one side, and then small delivery vans on the other. And then the delivery van parking will be on the other side. I have not been given a name, I can guess, but I have not been given a name of the business yet. But it's somewhere that takes large semis and puts small.
So it's not a ton of people working.
No, I don't know the number of people, but I mean, I think more are in vehicles than actually working in a distribution center.
That'll be sprinkled.
Yep.
Do they have enough water for that?
Yep.
Or would they
Yeah,
have
so Spinnaker, who's at the end of Business Park Drive, was it 4 or 5 years ago?
Maybe even more than
Maybe
that.
more. They ran the water line all the way up Business Park Drive. That's when SPX Technology, the old Sea Light, same company but just a different name. That's when they sprinkled, and then Spinnaker sprinkled, so that water line goes
There's
right
enough
up.
water.
There's plenty of water there. Yeah, they are doing a tank of some sort in the. So I asked them to clarify, and they're using it for just so they can make their fire pump smaller. They are going to have a tank there, but and they added a hydrant. So I've only done the site plan. I haven't done the. So we've only done site approval. I haven't done anything inside the building. It's only been outside the building. So once I get the inside, once I get the building plans, I'll know more about how many people plan on working there. But I do know it's a one-story building. I believe it's 18-foot tall walls. And 100,000 square feet, so about the same footprint as the U-Haul building now, but just one story instead of 3. So if that, to help you, because that's about 300,000 square feet, that U-Haul building. But that's 3 levels at 100,000 apiece.
Does the new apartment complex get sprinkled?
Yes, that will. Anything over 3-family and above will get sprinkled in the district. But we can't require sprinklers 2-family and below.
Do they have enough water there?
So my understanding, and I haven't seen site plans for that yet. I just saw the site plans for the new Keir Sage Lane. I'm the first one to pick up on that. No, it's not. So I asked short guy. Keir Sage Lane is the new road in Tilton, and it didn't have an R on the plans. And I said, "What's Keir Sage?" I said, "I think you spelled it wrong." And they said, "We spelled it wrong 20 years ago. We can't change it now." So it's Keir Sage Lane. So I just found that out this week. But
It's okay, they can't see it from there anyway.
so those are sprinkled too. So those are there's 6 units and 2 4-unit buildings. They're all sprinkled. They have a water system there that once they built it, Penachuk took it over, and it's private for them. So it'll probably be. But anyway, back to the. My understanding is they're coming behind Taco Bell and coming in the water that way to get the water. But I haven't seen site plans for those yet. And the duplexes, I do not know what the duplexes will not be required to be sprinkled. However, they'll be required to have a water supply for firefighting activity. I do not know how there's a couple different ways they can accomplish that, and they can choose. So I don't know which way they're going to choose to do that.
Thank you. Anything,
Good.
all right. Anything else? All right, let's move on to old business. As I mentioned before about the finance committee, I don't know if there's any additional discussion on that. Marketing committee, at our last meeting, we talked about some potential folks to put that together. I know the chief is looking into at least one person, if not more. I guess I'd like to get Jason involved in how we can man that committee, because that's the one we really need to get going here once we start getting some floor plans, and then Lorero can give us some additional visuals, and then we can start planning some public outreach. So we need to really start getting that group of people together. And what I've been finding with the finance committee is, people are interested, nobody wants to say no, but everybody says they're busy and concerned about, being able to have the time to do a good job being a member of the committee. I'm really waiting to hear back from one
So am I.
person, who I think could be a good cheerleader and help us with that. So we'll continue that conversation.
Waiting for a phone call.
Okay. And then we'll reach out via email in the coming days, hopefully.
Is that the finance committee you're talking about? Okay, thank you.
No,
Well, that's
marketing.
the marketing,
The marketing,
Marketing.
okay.
which I want to start referring to as the community outreach committee, or,
Public outreach committee.
yeah, community outreach, or community engagement, or something along those lines. That sounds better than marketing.
Should we hire a marketing company to come up with a name for the
No.
outreach company?
Community engagement. We need them to start doing some public outreach.
So it's gonna be community engagement?
I don't know, I'm throwing that out there. Do you have a?
Throw it out, way out.
Well, I've asked Jason to be the commissioner's representative on that committee.
Yeah. Maybe once the committee's formed, it can
We can
self-name,
tweak the name, okay.
self-label.
So the marketing committee. And we really need to get that rolling. Time's gonna run out. We really need Lorero to give us some processing. Okay. Let's talk about Park Street drainage.
Yeah, so, you saw the estimate from, the number from Steve, and you guys, we discussed it at the last meeting, and you said you wanted to go and look at it first, and I think that's where we stopped.
Right. So what is Steve Partridge?
Yes.
What is he proposing for a repair?
He wants to dig a trench that goes underneath the access road to the training facility and bringing a pipe from the downspout underneath all the way over to the ditch where the culvert further, where the DPW and fire department parking lots meet. There's a drain, and that drain goes to a culvert that's behind the shed, and he wants to bring it all the way over there. And I guess the reason it costs so much is it's like a full day with the machine there, and other stuff, so that's materials aren't much. We were gonna use sleeve it underneath the dirt road with material that we already have, PVC pipe, and then that'll solve that problem.
Should we look at a?
I don't know if there's, some people, Mike, did you think of a better way of doing it?
I just had a gut reaction. I looked at it, that we eroded that banking, but the road stayed. So I had a thought of trimming the pavement, put some type of material, like get 3-inch erosion stone with
Just
some
say
type of
3,
mat.
Rip wrap or something?
Yep, and just run it down to the road.
Yeah.
And in hopes that the rip wrap or the wrap would slow the water down and just let it, because like I said, the road held.
Yeah.
Well, I would think if we're gonna do major construction on that site potentially in a couple of years, shouldn't we look at more of a better cost-effective temporary type solution than to be
I would
bearing
think so.
pipes?
I would
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, to me, it just seemed like, I was thinking the same thing, some 3-inch.
Just drop-
Maybe with, could we partner with the highway department,
Yeah, I wonder if they'd help us out.
just
Yeah.
get it dropped and they drop it over the loader and hold the line, because that roof's not gonna be that roof forever. And the only
bad when it rains, right? It's a lot of rain, but if the pipe is aimed the right way over the right kind of stone, I would think that would control the majority of the problem. Because the spout got turned the wrong way.
We have the
So-
spout now pointing down the driveway, which is
Yeah.
okay in the summer, but
Yeah.
in the wintertime, it turns into a
A
sheet
skating
of
rink,
ice.
sure, yeah.
So that's why we like to turn it this way, and that's kind of where we park the plow a lot of times
Yeah.
too. And when it's pointing this way, the plow just crushes the pipe, because guys can't see the thing sticking out that far when they drop the plow on it. So yeah, I think that kind of a plan would probably be more appropriate, you know, dig it out a little, put the wrap in, and see what happens. It's certainly be probably cheaper
I
than
think
the 3,500.
Kevin's probably got some experience in this too. What would your suggestion be?
You're dumping the entire roof line of water
Right
on
there.
that one corner.
And it's a lot.
You have a downspout
Yeah.
direct
And,
from up high,
right.
a
Why?
long angle to the back corner.
Why has it become a problem all of a sudden?
It's not all of a sudden, it's been over time.
Oh.
You got no, there's no gutter on the other end of the building, right? The other side.
I
I
don't
believe
know.
so.
I don't think so.
So you've got all that territory over there that's not seen the deluge from your square footage of roof. It's all been dumped here. If we direct, it would take a longer,
You're saying instead of bringing it down, so it's straight down
bring it down and
Across.
across the back of the building?
so if this is the roof is like this, you're dumping here, come here and go this way with it. You don't have to go all the way, you might want to go all the way, but it gets it off that corner.
So all you're doing is just adding gutter
Gutter.
work across the back of the building to a new
When,
location.
when it's vertical, it's called downspout.
Right.
I suppose it's still called downspout no matter what angle it's at.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it takes it away from that corner where the problem is.
Right.
And if it ices up over there, I don't think anyone cares.
Well, the other thing is we wouldn't want it to, you know, no matter where the downspout ended, we don't want it to be washing out that slope either, because it is pretty steep.
Right, but that, isn't that,
Grass.
got the green stuff on it? Grass?
I would dirt and weeds more than grass, yeah. That's an option.
It's a hell of a lot less than $3,500, I can tell you
If
that.
we went with the riprap option, I know somebody with a mini X and a dump trailer, I think you know him too. We were concerned about using him because there's a gas line.
There's a
there, but
gas line
If we're
underneath
not
it.
digging in the ground, I'm
Right.
sure he'd be more than willing to come
I
over
think
with that
it's just a
mini X.
matter of
and-
sloping what's already washed out, put some type of
Yeah.
a, you know, cover on it, and then throw the 3-inch wrap.
You just want to make
To
sure
slow
that
it
you
down.
don't get anywhere near that gas line.
Right, right.
That was the concern.
I mean, for the most part, I think. that-
We'll call dig stuff at any rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can we look into that type of a solution?
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that.
Don't have to.
Motor vehicle insurance policy, we have a couple of the policy.
I gotta sign a few.
We signed a couple last week,
Yep.
the last month. And then the motor vehicle one had some conflicting language, so we were cleaning up the language.
Okay, so there's the vote paper one.
You have a copy for everybody, or is this the
That's
original?
just, that's the original, but you pass these down to Jason, those require his signature only.
Thank you, Kevin.
Have a good night.
Good night. Oh, don't fall.
Thank you, Jason.
Yep,
Then put the plow under there.
perfect.
And then in the winter, we'll still have to have it inside.
Yeah, well, that would make sense.
But for the summer, we can keep it out, and then the moisture won't come up.
Yep.
And it's protected from down, it's also protected from both ways.
Exactly.
So he came down and talked to me about it the other day.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, the wrapped pipe, is that private pipe somebody has?
Nope, that, we, I don't know how we had, they purchased a lot of it for the cistern that still hasn't been done, but there still is too much there, I think, and then the new dry hydrant. Have you seen the new dry hydrant? It's nice.
Where is it?
Christian grandfather's house.
Yeah, I still don't know where it is. It's,
If you go past the house, start down the hill, they put a turn off, and it's a yellow hydrant.
so go past Lancaster Hill Road
Yep,
and then start down.
and it's right there, you're right,
Okay.
it's a yellow hydrant.
Yep,
No, it's nice. And then we tested, I haven't put it out yet because
That's fine.
we have the new dry hydrant at Lewis Plumber. We tested that yesterday, that's up and running.
oh,
They
okay.
paid for that, we didn't pay for that.
Where is
That's
that?
what it
Down
was
by the
originally
boat
The,
ramp?
the two new
Oh, okay.
buildings.
So we don't
it's
change
down
the
I don't
at the
remember.
boat ramp.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's why.
That was that
Actually,
time,
really
it's a new policy, remember we were
Yeah,
talking
it
about?
then,
was effective last year.
What we
It
think we're gonna
was,
use that
yes.
Schedule 80 for.
That's a different
There's a dry
policy
hydrant
signing.
right here, Stay Clean.
He was not here for that meeting.
You know, Country Lake Resort.
Yeah,
You come around that,
Sounds
and
143.
closer to Laconia at the other end of the
That's
pond
when
or
the-
drainage
the,
area. There's a
policy
dry
first
hydrant
came out.
that they were required to put there. Well, they put it, it's about that high.
So we always
Yeah.
had a water
But
purchase,
it's-
we
it's
had a
a big
water
month.
purchasing policy.
Oh,
So
no.
He's gonna pay to
I didn't notice
raise it
that.
up.
that's
I'll
a
take,
new
I'll
policy.
take that
The chief
and
wants to
I'll put a new, I'll
use
fix
that material
that.
and
Okay.
actually
Good
come
catch.
out of
Yeah.
that
I did
bucket.
not-
I know it was a new conversation, but I'm like, wow, I didn't know we had a policy.
I
like
did
that.
not
So we're
fix
drafting
that,
them
I'm
all.
sorry.
Something
Yeah.
that's not.
So
Exactly.
I will bring that for the next meeting.
So
Okay.
he's meeting in July. He wants to wait, the owner wants to wait till July because he's like, when I get to that section of road, can we worry about it then?
Yeah.
I said, yep, that works, that makes sense.
And that's why Jason.
So we're gonna worry about it in July.
Perfect.
Yay.
So most of that pipe will be used for that. But
All
that's
right.
what we're using underground now is the Schedule 80.
Yeah, no, let's use that lean-to, because the lean-to is protecting plastic pipe.
Yeah.
That
doesn't need.
doesn't need to be protected.
All that plastic pipe actually needs to be protected by a dumpster.
Well, and that's
And
okay
they-
too.
They're working on that for
Yeah.
me. I've been pushing a little harder
Yep.
lately on, I've been asking to get rid of that for a while.
Yep,
It'll be gone soon.
We want to use
I
that for
I
other.
finally got rid of the light bulbs today.
Yes, I
We
saw.
had 48 of the old style light bulbs that no one will take anymore.
The full
Oh,
rest.
okay.
Home Depot, gracious, there was $4 a bulb to get rid of them. I was like, just pay it, get rid of them. And
Yeah.
they were about to, and Home Depot said, we'll take them for free.
oh, good deal.
So we'll get them today.
Old fluorescent tubes or something?
Yeah, we had tons of them. We have 2 more 8-footers that we have to get rid of. But we had a big pile of, because we went to all LED, and no one would take the bulbs back then, so they've just been sitting in a corner all duct taped together. It's been driving me nuts. They're gone now.
Right, jeez. Those two back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, surplus fire extinguisher trainer.
So we received the new fire extinguisher trainer that was budgeted for this year. I actually just did the in-service for myself on it today. Today was supposed to be the first day using it. Spalding canceled it because of rain, because the employees have to walk so far down. They said if it's raining out. So we do 2 trainings with Spalding a year. We do a morning and an afternoon. So on Thursday afternoon, I'll be using it for the first time with actual people. And then we rescheduled the morning training that was supposed to happen. So I did the in-service of today, I played with it, it's awesome. It's amazing when a machine isn't broken and you're trying to cobble it together. So it's up and running, we have all the parts, I've taken everything from the old trainer that I need. And so I'm asking your permission to surplus it to Laconia Fire Department for $1. I just need your permission to do that, and we'll write up the contract that we're surplusing it. We hold no liability, and it's actually kind of broken again, so they're gonna have to buy a bulb, which is cheap, but, so I'm just asking your permission to surplus the Laconia Fire for $1, and they've agreed to let anyone use it who wants to use it, so we don't have to lend ours out.
Yeah, I believe that's fair.
Yep. So you'll create, so I'm in favor of doing that. You'll create a contract that we can approve.
Okay, oh, do they need
Do I
to
need to
approve it,
approve
or
the
I think,
contract,
If we're just surplusing something, I think this
No.
will do
All right, I move that we authorize Sean to surplus the old fire extinguisher trainer for $1 with the intentions of getting that to Laconia.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you.
The fire prevention trailer.
100, we're at day 60, I think.
All right, so
We got 60 more days.
we're waiting, we're
Oh,
following
oh, that's right, because of the FEMA.
The FEMA,
grant.
this was a grant.
Yeah, they get
so we're 60 days, 60 days.
failure to respond type of thing. Okay.
All right, any other old business? All right, let's move to new business. Is there any new business? In all those emails, was there any new business?
Well, did you want to sign the MS 535 under new business or under other business?
Well, it's on item
It's
nine.
not on the other, so I just want to.
Okay.
Any other new business? Hearing none, let's review meeting minutes. I move the minutes from the May 13th, 2025 meeting as presented.
I'll second
I didn't see any fault with the minutes. Other than, I'm sorry, it is this one. On the very last page of the minutes where it talks about the non-public session. Yeah, go to the back page. Let's flip it over. All right, so non-public, there's the paragraph there, then there's the roll call vote, then there's the non-public session was entered at 6:33, and then it says Commissioner Wright made a motion to leave the non-public session. Commissioner
wasn't
Wright
here.
wasn't here.
You weren't here.
Now, the
Neither was
actual
I.
minutes from the meeting also have an error in them, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, do you know who actually made the motion to leave non-public?
Paul
Paul
made
did.
it.
Okay.
It's in the non-public minutes.
And so then
Correctly.
did I second that?
Do you have the non-public
Yes.
minutes right there? At the top. Oh, no, wait a minute, sorry, down at the bottom.
To enter, Paul, Tim. Vote to exit, Paul and Tim.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, yeah, that's the only correction I saw there.
Okay.
Motion to move, to approve the minutes with that change?
I'll second it.
Second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. And Jason abstains because he wasn't at the meeting. All right. Motion to move the non-public session minutes of May 13th, 2025 to the floor for discussion. I think there's that same issue in here somewhere. Where is it not?
There is not.
No, okay, there isn't. All right, I move that we accept the minutes of the non-public session for May 13th, 2025. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Jason abstains because he wasn't here. Jason, you can keep that one if you want.
Thank you.
All right, other business. We need to sign the manifest.
And yes.
So we'll work on that in a minute. But I also want to review the MS 535.
Where did you want
Are they all signed?
That's
That one's,
Oh.
this one's not. Paul will do it, but I haven't. So we'll do that in a minute. So, did you all get this and look through it?
I couldn't open it. It wasn't loaded for me, so I'll look at it when we look at it.
Okay. Do you have more than one copy or just
And
that
what
one?
was that one? Since I emailed it out.
I mean, to me, it all looked appropriate, made sense. Of course, I'm not familiar enough with those type of documents to know if anything doesn't look appropriate
That's
or is in the wrong places.
Nope, those are all correct. I used to do that report with our prior auditor because they didn't want to do it. And so the current auditors, Plotzik and Sanderson, they do the report for us. And then I review it to make sure they've gotten everything correct. And everything, as far as I could tell, matched the numbers perfectly.
And Paul, did you?
Yeah, I saw it today. I mean, that's their job. I would
It is their job, and what they do is they take the year end, and you have all that information on the spreadsheets that we give you, and they compile it into what DRA wants to see, the expenses and then the revenues, and then they do the balance sheet.
Sale of municipal property.
Yes,
The trucks?
yes.
Yes.
Yep. Well, like, so I was noticing under capital outlay, machinery, vehicles, and equipment, and it's what's appropriated and then actual.
Yeah, we still have a balance, so we've appropriated money for the new ambulance. We've purchased some of the
Oh,
equipment,
that's why the,
ambulance
That's
and
why that's
equipment.
there, yes.
So, we'll be purchasing some more of that equipment, at the end of the summer and the fall. And then, I expect the new vehicle to arrive, late winter, early spring. And then that's when we'll expend the rest of that.
Do we need a motion to sign this?
I think we just have to sign.
Just sign it.
Thank you. Thank you.
DRA will have this tomorrow.
Right, non-public, is this for disposition?
It is.
Is that the same non-public as succession planning?
No. I didn't know we were having a non-public for succession planning.
I want to have a non-public for succession planning.
Okay, well, I have the paperwork for both.
Perfect. You want to do succession planning discussion first? And then if the chiefs want to leave while we do the disposition reports, they can? All right.
I'm trying to figure out which one you
Okay.
need. I think,
See, I think it's the same as
Uh-huh.
the disposition reports.
no,
A3,
I think it's A.
Okay?
I think so. C is about the reputation of the person, which if discussed in public would affect the reputation. And A is dismissal, promotion, or compensation.
I would think A then.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. A it is.
All right. Today is 6-10-25. Motion to enter non-public session made by Tim Sattler, seconded by Paul. RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, bracket A, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, 1, has the right to a public meeting, and 2, request that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Roll call vote to enter non-public session. Paul Ogier.
Yes.
Tim Sattler, yes. Jason Wright.
Yes.
Staff reporter entered in at 6:30 p.m. We on? Public session reconvened at 7:09 p.m. I'm not sure we need to seal the minutes. All I put down is succession planning discussion.
You don't have to, if that's all you put down, if that's all all you want in those minutes.
Is that enough?
That's probably fine.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
All right, we're back in public session. Now we need to go into non-public for disposition reports.
I'll swap with you.
Okay, Tim Satler. Okay. Motion to enter non-public session made by
I'll make a motion.
Paul, seconded by
Jason.
Jason. Reason RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, bracket C, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Roll call vote, Paul Ozier.
Yes.
Tim Sattler, yes. Jason Wright.
Yes.
And we're going into non-public at 7:10 p.m. Convening at, are we live?
We're live.
All right, we're coming out of non-public at 7:20 p.m. We're not sealing the minutes. Minutes were fine. All right, we're out of non-public, we're back into public. Any other business?
Motion to adjourn now?
All right, motion's been made by Jason, seconded by Paul. Any discussion? No discussion on the motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Our meeting is adjourned at 7:21 p.m. Thank you.